History was made in the Low Country as hundreds of homeless animals were adopted over the weekend. Good evening, everyone.
It did more than just topple expectations. Mark Davenport tells us the Adopt-a-thon, it broke records.
Well, Victoria, for the first time in 138 years, all of the animals at the shelter in need of a home were adopted in just 4 days.
Yeah, he had that take me home look.
The look all but melted the Clarks. The community more than helped out Low Country pets. They broke shelter records.
There we go.
Attention employees and customers, would like to congratulate the Moransky family for adopting Brutus the dog into his new forever home. Woohoo!
We're out there talking about, look, we're winning this. We are solving the problem. We're not reacting to the problem anymore. We're solving it. This is a winning strategy. We're saving more lives. People support that. They will jump on the bandwagon on a winning solution.
We have been in the business of sheltering and caring for animals for 138 years. We've done a lot of events, a lot of things that have helped us to save lives, helped us to spay, neuter more animals, but there's nothing that we have done that has saved more than the fee-waived program that we're doing now.
A lot of shelters, particularly across the South and really realistically across the nation, have these old suspicions and hesitations, reluctance about moving forward progressively and trying fee-waived adoptions as a strategy to save more lives.
I had to have my feelings about fee-waived changed. There were myths in the animal world that kept us from saving lives. And we used those myths to justify the euthanasia of animals that otherwise could have gone into homes. That was the part that when I had that epiphany, I realized, oh my gosh, this can actually work.
We heard things like dog fighters, would come in and take all your animals, or laboratory researchers would come down and pull all your animals and then take them for, and mutilate them, or those types of things. Just kind of crazy things. And we found out, a completely opposite thing happened.
A lot of people tell me they thought that thugs or just low-life people that just wanted animals for the wrong reasons would come into the shelter, and that was not the case.
We saw it on the news last night, late at night, and we've been talking about getting another dog since our oldest one passed away, and figured it would probably be a good time since we've been talking about it anyway.
This is based on science, this is based on research, and that what we know is that fee-waived strategies, one, don't have anything to do with the attachment level that folks have towards animals.
I'm not really sure that money has a lot to do with it, with becoming bonded with an animal. I mean, a lot of people find stray animals, and that's never a concern where they have to pay for them in the first place. They try to find the owners, and if not, a lot of times that's how animals enter people's homes, or through friends and family.
The only time we utilize fee-waived strategies to save more lives is when those animals are really destined for euthanasia, and so we implement, very strategically, a fee-waived strategy on adoptions. We don't waive the adoption process at all. We don't waive the adoption screening, only the fee.
Each time we learn something new. We learn when we do a cat adoption event that we want to make sure we have lots and lots of cat supplies in our retail store, because people are getting a free cat, they know they need to go find a litter box, they need some toys, they need those supplies. So what we did was we made sure that we were stocked with supplies in our retail store, and that helped to generate the little extra income.
The economics of fee-waived adoption campaigns can be complicated, but if you do it right, you will generate revenue by waiving the fees. But the bottom line at the end of the day is that you save more lives. Not just a few more lives, a hell of a lot more lives.
It's about saving lives, definitely. I don't really know how else to say it. I mean, that's what everyone's in this business for, I think, is to save lives.
It took a lot of effort from staff. It took an amazing board of directors that trusted us to know what was right for these animals.
Most of the folks who come in don't get the animal for the first time. They're already pet owners. They understand, okay, can we make room for one more? In a larger context, the fee-waived adoption strategy is part of a much larger strategy. And that is that we're trying to get our community to utilize us, to target us as their pet source of choice. Nationwide, we know that animal shelters are the #3 pet source of choice.
What we did as far as marketing this campaign was we implemented print advertising. We went to radio stations. We got PSAs cut. We worked with news stations and helped them to understand how serious this was. If you want to get them to help you, then give them something interesting and exciting. Don't just send a press release out that says what's going on. Call them individually and tell them, I've got this great story for you and you're the only one who's going to get that story. That's what gets them in here.
And Victoria Hansen, the Charleston Animal Society went from loud and crowded to quiet and practically empty.
The public, the community is very appreciative of it. The publicity we get around saving many more lives is a heck of a lot better than the publicity we would get with mass euthanasia.
We gave the first 50 adopters a gift card to PetSmart. And what that did was it generated interest. It made people come in early.
And this success didn't just drop on us. The ASPCA taught us how to do this. PetSmart Charities provided the financial support for us to try it. And without those two, respectable organizations, probably two of the most respectable organizations in the nation, we wouldn't have had the confidence to do it. So if you're thinking about this, call the ASPCA, call PetSmart Charities, and let them stand arm in arm with you, and we will too, to try this for the first time if you haven't tried it before.
Don't reinvent the wheel. Find out what has already been done and have them help you to do this. It can be done.
We asked for the public to help us, and here you have it. Empty cages. Every single cage in the Charleston Animal Society is empty. Not one cat, not one kitten, not one dog is left without a home.
The most amazing thing was walking into an adoption floor and it's empty. I mean, that's the greatest feeling I've ever had in the animal welfare business. Some of our employees have been here for 20 years. Our volunteers, our donors, our community, our board of directors, even the newspaper wrote an editorial. What a great feeling this is to have an empty adoption floor for the first time in history. I mean, we've been here for 138 years. 138 years, and we have an empty adoption floor. I mean, how wonderful is that?
And I can't tell you, after 20 years in doing this, I never thought I'd see the day. The only time I saw our building look the way it did that night was before we had even moved in, when we were still building the building, and the building was empty. Not hearing the barking animals on the adoption floor, not seeing the kittens and cats in the cages was an amazingly sweet victory for us.
So we have gone in 4 years, that's Charleston Animal Society has moved in a 4-year period of time from putting down 2/3 of the animals to saving 2/3 of the animals.